In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can overcome the issue of bringing the topology together in the handle. All right, so there are several ways that we can go about closing this up and getting that topology there. One way would be to go ahead and select that border and cap it with a single polygon and then start cutting it. But I don't really want to do that. That can really start to bog down my time, and it may not absolutely work. And so I want to stay with a method that I know works very quickly and gives me the shape that I desire. So I'm going to continue starting right up here at the top, and I'm actually going to build this out until we don't have any more room. It's a lot easier to deal with one polygon that isn't going to work than trying to deal with several polygons that may not work. So let's do this. Let's hold down Alt and let's drag this point out here. Okay, and then we'll continue on right across the top of this. Okay, and it's just going to be a lot easier because what you'll notice that will happen is that an answer will come out of this if you build it down to the last polygon. So I'm going to hold down Alt and Control. I'm going to bridge that across to there. And it just kind of looks like now we're at that point where we just have this large polygon that is just not allowing me to put that in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit Control-Z one time. And let's go to Edit and Swift Loop. And let's add a loop right in here. But let's hold down Shift. And notice what happens whenever I hold down Shift. It brings that out. And it recognizes the curvature that's already in there. And so it just kind of normalizes that. So now what I can do is go ahead and do another one right here. Okay. And I think that that's okay. I don't really like having all of that geometry there, but I think that we can, it's going to help us get all of this fed back into it. So now let's go ahead and go to our freeform polydraw and extend. And let's just hold down Alt Control, let's bridge across to here, and then finally to there. So we have taken care of how we're going to get that to go back into our geometry. And then at this point what I'll do is I'll just start to move these vertices and redistribute those polygons so that way we're covering up most of the geometry. There's no sense in adding extra geometry and then just leaving it the way it is. It can help out with the rest of the model. So we want to make sure that if we add segments, they have purpose. Okay, and so pulling them out and trying to make the polygons a little bit more even in size is going to be helpful. And so I don't want to have any polygons that are really close together and then some that are really far apart. Okay. So just kind of pulling these out, spreading that out a little bit more, and making sure that we're getting all of the detail and that each one of these polygons is basically pulling their weight, that they are supporting as much detail as possible in the geometry. Go ahead and pull this up here. And there we go. So now we've got all of that figured out. And then now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and take care of the bottom. Now before we do that, I want to make sure that we take care of that center line again. So let's go to Edge Mode, double click on that line there, okay, and then hold Control, double click on this line. That's going to go all the way up there. Hold down Control, double click on this line, and then also this one, okay, and this one, and then across the top. So all of those should be selected. Go ahead and convert your selection to vertex mode, and let's make sure that they are planar in the Z direction, and let's type in a value of X at 0 so that way we know it's right on that center line. Alright, perfect. So now we've got that set. Let's take care of the bottom. So the bottom, let's select all of those vertices here across that bottom there, and let's make planar in the Y direction. And with the bottom, I have a little bit of extra room, And I could just pull that straight down, okay, like that. And that's perfectly fine. I am afraid, though, that if I keep that as a very hard edge, just like this, that it's going to lose some of that information there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up to right about here and then hold down Shift, pull that down again. That creates another set of edges. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this edge, I'm going to pull that forward a little bit like so. And it's just starting to kind of round that off. So like with this edge here, oops, looks like we have something going on here. Take a look at that. Oh, that vertex there got a little off there. Let's pull that up around here. Got a little large there across the back there. That's okay. So then we're going to take this edge right here and we'll pull that forward some. And then all I have to do is grab these edges along the side and just pull those over in the X. And it is going to go ahead and cut off that information, but it is going to make this better. Pull that up there, just right about here, and then I'm going to take that edge, pull that up, and just try to get that to match up with my geometry. Oops, let's try that one more time. Let's move that up in the Z. And then if you need to, you can take these vertices and you can pull those out. Help out with that. Okay, so we know we're going to capture all that detail along this edge here. Now what we'll do is we'll go to edge mode, select this edge and this one, and I'm going to bridge that. And then we'll simply just add in the segments that we need to bring all of this across. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments on that. So let's connect and let's add in 5 segments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. And then I'm just simply going to go to PolyDraw and extend, and then I'll hold down Alt and Control, and I'm going to bridge across just like that. And just so you can see that, let's isolate that. You can see exactly how that comes across there. Perfect. All right, so a little bit of redistribution here and there. You may want to come across the back side of the handle or something like that and take these vertex points, maybe pull those around a little bit more, try to redistribute that a little bit better. Looks like we may have gotten a little wild with pulling points around on that. Or at least I did. I know I did. And pull that across there. There we go. That's looking much better. It's starting to kind of blend in with the rest of that. All right, very good. Okay, I'm going to pull these points down here. Try to get those to cover up that surface a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. We've got our model on its way. We've got the handle all built out. We've got most of the frame done. We need to get the other side. We can do that with the symmetry modifier, but before we do that, we need to finish out this last little bit. That's the last part that is symmetrical on the frame. And then we'll finish out that one side. Then we'll use the symmetry modifier, flip that over on the other side, and then we'll start to work on the rest of the gun. So I'll see you then.